Hello, hello, hello everybody, and welcome back. We're looking at B3 on our 2013 Canadian Open paper. And what have we got? Teams A and B are playing soccer until someone scores 29 goals. That is going to be a lot of soccer. Throughout the game, the score is shown on a board displaying two numbers, the number of goals scored by A and the number of goals scored by B. A mathematical soccer fan noticed that several times throughout the game, the sum of all the digits displayed on the board was 10. For example, a score of 12-7 is one such possible condition, because 1 plus 2 plus 7 is 10. Okay. What is the maximum number of times throughout the game that this could happen? Okay. Alright, so until someone scores 29 goals, so the highest possible scores we could have would be 29-28. So that's a lot of wiggle room. Or 28-29 if the other guy, if Team B wins. But, that's a lot. Now, scores are only going to increment by 1. You sort of have to understand soccer. Like, this would be different if it were an American football question, because scores can jump up by 6s and things like that. Very odd. So it's good that they chose soccer or hockey or something that goes up by 1 point at a time. Now, you can have something like... you can have a score like 12-7. Or, something like 11-8 would work. But not both of those could not happen at in the same game. Because having the 7 here means that to get to this 8, Team B would have to score by 1. But in order to get 11-8, that would mean Team A somehow loses a point. So that's not possible. So there's going to be sort of a range. Now, we start with 0-0. And we can go up to, at most, 29-28. I'm not saying that will happen. But that is at most what we can get. And the points on either side increase by 1. So what I might want to look at is total score. Because it starts at 0 and then, it'll go 0-1 or 1-0 and the total score is going to be 1 and things like that. And 29-28, we could have a maximum number of points scored being 57. So that's kind of interesting. But if we started writing all this out, we would get a really big sort of potential tree. Depending on who scored and so on. And some of so any value, so the sum of all the values here is going to be 2. But the sum of the digits, now that might change a little bit. So look, we down here we had, they give the example 12-7. I'm saying 11-8 would also work. Same with 10-9. 9-10 and things like that. Is there one of these that wouldn't work? So it's a total score of 19. So no, any score in this row will work. So is the total score related to the sum of the digits in some way? Well, suppose I had... they already use an A and B. So suppose I had a score of 10C plus D to 10E plus F. So on the scoreboard, this would look like CTD to ETF. The T in there is like the 80 and the 4T and the 30. So this will be what I see now. The total score would be 10C plus E plus D plus F. But the sum of the digits would be C plus D plus E plus F. And I can group these, I guess. and I want that to be equal to 10. So we get C plus D, and then plus 10 minus C plus E. Just rearranging for D plus F and then plugging it back in here. So this would be equal to 10, well, that's not a C, this should be a C plus E. So it should be 9C plus E plus 10 is our total score. So we're looking for total scores that... I wrote D again, darn it. C plus E, the tens digits. So that needs to be our total score. And, of course, C and E are both have to be between 0 and 2. So that's really limiting. I think we might be able to get maybe 6. Maybe one where C is 0, and then... Oh, no. I was about to say 9. 6 was me misspeaking. But it's going to be odd. Definitely odd. Okay, so the total score needs to be 9 times something plus 10. Okay. So... what could we have? We could have C could be 0 for a while, and E could increment all the way up to the 20s. And then C could go to 1 and 2. I think the best we can get is 5. Is there a better way to explain that? Well, I know total score is between 0 and 57. I remarked that early on. So... and C plus E is at least 0, so actually I can say this is at least 10. So how many multiples of 9 are there in this range? Well, 9CE could be 0, or 9, or 18, or 27, or 36, or 45, and that seems to be it. And that would appear to be 6 times. Except, to get 45, you need C plus E to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. To get 45, you need 5, but C plus E is at most 4. Actually, let's write it that way. 0 minus 10, so... I guess technically C plus E, according to the math, could be minus 9, but that's ridiculous. Yeah, because C plus E is in this range, so at most 5 times, but we need to actually show that the maximum of 5 could be achieved, or if it can't, why at most 4 could be achieved. So let's see, could we get 5? We can achieve 5 by having, let's say, so I need 2 that start with 0. So 0, 1 to, let's say, 0, 9. That would be fine. Let's actually break it down this way. So A score 9 times to go from 0, 0 to 0, 9, 0, 0. B score once. So we'll mark that off with a nice little tick. There we go. That's a sum of 10. What else could we have then? I guess we could go to... Well, B could score 9 more. Maybe I could spell score properly. And then we'd have 0, 9, 10, and then that's another one. And okay, what could we do there? Then I suppose we could have maybe A score to go with 10, so we need a 19, so we could have A score 9. It looks like we're going up by 9 each time, and that makes sense because what's the total score we need? It's 9, a multiple of 9 plus 10. So that would be 18, 10, and that also works. We could have A score 9 more. So that would be 27, 10. And then B needs to score, but that's not going to add up to 10. And that's only 4. So what if I did something a little lower? Maybe have A score 5. Then have B score 5. This keeps things nice and even a little bit. Then have B score 9. So that'll be 14. 5 to 14. Have A score 9. That'll be 14, 14. Have A score another 9. So that'd be 23, 14. Actually, we could instead keep it a little symmetric and have B do some scoring. And I think stylistically I'm going to switch it to A and B up here as well. But that's just my personal preference. So B scores 9, that's 23, and there's a 14. And then A scores 9 again. 23, 23, and that gives me a 5th one. There we go. And that's the most that I could ever do, and then we'll just let B win the game. B scores 6. So that's 29. 23, 29 is the end of our game. It doesn't have to be the end of your game, but there we go. So 5 times is the most, and we can actually achieve that number. There we go. So we just sort of had a look at the relationship between total score and the sum of the digits. And actually, I guess I did find a situation where there is a difference between the possible total sums of digits that we could have when I sort of screwed up there. But there we go. So that was, what was that? That was B3. So up next will be B4. And we'll take a look at that. Should be the hardest of the short answer questions on the contest. We'll take a look at that in the next video. Until then, have a wonderful day.